Well, I would distinguish between the multilateral system, which is anchored in the United Nations, and plurilateral arrangements such as BRICS and IPSA, etc. Insofar as the multilateral system is concerned, every aspect of our development, every aspect of our external relations finds resonance in the multilateral system. For instance, if you are dealing with the pressing issue of climate change, there is talk about global climate warming. That will affect your food production, that will affect your issues of flooding, etc. That is being addressed in the UNFCCC. Then climate negotiations are going to restart in a few months' time in Germany. If you're looking at health-related issues, those are addressed in the WHO. So the basic submission I'm making is that the multilateral system is far more important than is normally acknowledged. And for any serious government which is grappling with developmental challenges like India is, you need to work the multilateral system so as to produce an environment which is facilitatory and which supports your domestic efforts. In other words, the multilateral system is both complementary to and can strengthen your developmental efforts domestically. Well, the Security Council, as you know, was established in its present form in 1945. It responds to the victor belong the spoils attitude. You have a situation in which for many years the P5, that is the United Kingdom, France, Russia, United States and China dominated the show. Now you have a situation where the P5 has finds itself not to be on the same page. Events in Libya, Syria, and more recently in the Ukraine, in Crimea to be specific, have brought the disunity in the P5 to the forefront. The Security Council, in order to be effective, in order to restore its credibility, needs to be restructured. It needs to be expanded. And I think anyone who has even a nodding acquaintance with the functioning of the Security Council realizes that the Council composition has to bring on board countries like India. Is that likely to happen? It could happen, provided we have the courage, we shed our aversion to risk, and that we are able to put a draft on the table. There are a number of drafts. The first draft would have to deal with a framework solution, which essentially means that an agreement would have to be reached in principle that Security Council reform and expansion are necessary. After that, other countries could come in and be willing to offer their candidature. So I think it's about time this happens. But you know, in the last 5 years, including the period when I was permanent representative of India to the UN in New York, I found that Delhi is extremely cautious. It is averse to any risk, and therefore we did not move forward. I'm hoping that whenever there is a new government in Delhi in May this year, next month sometime, we will be in a position to revisit this issue in a more focused manner. I would not be sitting here and talking to you if I thought the think tanks didn't have an important role to play. In fact, look, personally, and I'm not saying this now that I have spent 39 years in the Foreign Service, and I also I have a relationship with the International Peace Institute in New York. I'm not saying it because of that, but my view, long-held view, is that public diplomacy is an absolute crying need for a country like India. The Foreign Service is too small. The government in itself cannot deal with many issues. You need think tanks like Gateway House and the other think tanks which are coming up, which are new, in order for them to do some burden sharing. By burden sharing, I mean to involve the private sector, to involve the other stakeholders, civil society, the NGOs, the press, and to do some cutting-edge research. Now, the good news is that India is beginning to walk down the road of using think tanks, etc. But our think tanks are new. They still need to mature. They need proper funding, and they must be encouraged. For that reason, I'm sitting here with you, and it is my expectation that in the coming years, I want to be able to devote some time to enlarging the canvas for foreign policy discourse, to involve the think tanks in a structured manner. And I believe that that is the shape of the future.